Hello everyone, thanks for joining. Joining another Taiji Qigong Shibashi live class. Quality of the image won't be as good today because I still don't have all the gear I've ordered. I actually decided to take the plunge and buy a whole new camera. That's going to take another 2 weeks to get there, but hopefully in mid-August, everything should be settled in with high quality image, great sound, and everything. Got the lighting, so hopefully you guys can see me better, even though the image frame rate is, I think it's capped at 480. It's not the full 1080p, but that should be good enough. And hopefully the sound is still good. I haven't checked it out. Actually, that's what I was setting out to do. Give me a second to verify this. Just to see, how is that doing? Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. There's a bit of echo though. That's kind of weird. Okay, let's see if I turn this down a bit. Sorry everyone, still trying to understand this whole thing. And so far, Miss Life class for week moving. Oh, well, hope your move went well, Beth. Very good to be back. Glad you're back as well. Let me see, since I changed that, how did that stop? So, if I'm talking now, how's the sound? I think that should be better. Maybe it's just the mic that's a little too close. Let me switch that back a bit lower. Sorry for the little screechy noise. Oh, there you go. Good. That might be a bit better. Let me know if you guys can still hear me well. If it's not too low. Get this out here. Let's see, it'll take a few seconds because that's a little delayed. So, sorry, I was listening through my headphones to see how the sound was. Seems somewhat okay. All right, well, that's gonna be it. Still have a lot to learn about these things. Sorry to hear that, Jane. Hopefully things will get better and you won't have too many symptoms. Breathing, Qigong. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm actually working on a project for prepared video to help people recuperate breathing capacity within the current situation. Let's work a little bit on that. Let's make a test, so it'll be good. You guys can tell me what you think of these exercises for helping the breath and the whole idea of the protocol that I have. Thanks for being there, Jane. It makes my job a lot easier to have people asking questions and things. All right, so let's jump right into it. Here, let me get that little timer. And what we'll do is that we'll do a first little exercise to test the depth of our breath. And then we'll do some simple moving Qigong and see if that transforms. So every minute, we'll just do 5 minutes. We'll do 5 minutes of breathing. If you have a chair, you can sit down. If you prefer to do it standing, we can do it standing as well. And so what I'll do, I have a timer here that will ring every minute for 5 minutes. And I want you to count how many breaths, one full breath is one inhale, one exhale, to count how many breaths you have in 1 minute. So if you're able to take 6 breaths per minute, or if it's up to 10, hopefully it's not too much more than that. You're able to have a deeper breathing with the abdominal, thoracic breathing. Don't force it, just observe how your breathing goes. And then we'll do a few exercises to kind of allow the breathing to expand, and then we'll see after that if you improved it. So again, one breath is one inhale, one exhale. Every time you hear the gong ringing, because it's going to ring every minute, that tells you you've done a minute. So keep in mind the amount of breath you took and start over again, counting from 0, so that you can have an idea of how many breaths per minute you are taking. So sit down, get ready, or stand up. Just make sure you're properly seated. You have the space in the lower abdomen so you can breathe. And let's go. Beginning with the inhale. So as you inhale, gently observe how your abdominal breathing, thoracic breathing come together. Gently inhaling through the nose. And you can exhale either through the nose or the mouth, whichever way you prefer. Just slowly observe how many breaths per minute you are able to take. So this is 1 minute. Start over again. One inhale, one exhale. Count for 1. Starting over again, breathing, inhale and exhale, count for 1 and count how many breaths you get per minute. So again, inhale, exhale, count for 1 and count how many breaths you have per minute. last minute. Breathing in and breathing out, count for 1. Just to see how many breaths per minute you can take just by standing or sitting in a relaxed position without trying to change anything and without forcing your breathing. Good. So, just to see if you guys want to share and write it down. Nothing to know about this. Can you guys hear me well? One person said the sound wasn't super clear unless I turned it down a little too much. How is it going for that? If you guys want to write down how many breaths per minute you took, if you're around 6, it's good. Anywhere from 6, 8, all the way up to 10 is good. If it's 12 or above, then the breath is really a little shallow and need to be strengthened a little bit through the diaphragm and thoracic breathing. If it's anywhere around 6, it's excellent. If you're able to go down even closer towards 3 or 2 breaths per minute, then you're an expert breathing. And I'm very happy that you're following my class, but you probably don't really need them. So, 5 times per minute, 7. Sun is not as good as usual, but still okay. All right. Not really sure why. Okay, I'll have to look into that as well. So, good. What else we have? 8. That's a good thing too. 6 shish. Okay, a little lower. Increase a little bit. 3 breaths per minute. Excellent. Very good. So, since you guys already have a fairly good breathing per minute, it might not change that much with the exercise that we'll do, but we're still going to look into them to try to help increase and transform the ability of our own breath. So we're just going to take a moment here to feel abdominal breathing, index finger at the height of belly button, palm on the waist, opening into the lower abdomen, taking a breath, feeling abdominal breathing, and exhaling. Again, inhaling, exhale. One more, inhale, exhale. Rolling the shoulder, bringing them towards the back, rising them up towards the ears, and closing forward so we have a little bit of pressure on the upper chest, forcing us to have more abdominal breathing. And see if you feel that there's more space that opened up in the lower abdomen. And let's do one more. Then relaxing the shoulders back into a more comfortable position and seeing if you're able to maintain the same depth of breath with your shoulder more relaxed. Trying to feel both the front of the abdomen, the perineum, the bottom, and the lower back also activated, so it kind of creates a loop from the front down the bottom of the back of pressure filling up as your diaphragm is moving. As you do this, I'm just going to try to readjust a little bit the volume. That seems to be better again. Let me know if that's okay, or if that's a little too much, because I see a peak in the red, so I'm trying to figure out the right volume as I'm speaking to you at the same time. Seems to be a bit better. Let me know if that improved sound or if it brought back again that little bit of echo around. Good, so we have this abdominal breathing. As we feel this, we can start to use, we'll use mostly the first movement of set one, since it allows us to have this filling up and coming down, but we're actually going to even simplify it a little bit more, where we will bring our awareness into the lower abdomen, bring the chi. Let's massage the point in the palm to activate this. We're doing a bit of a deeper Qigong. A deeper Qigong. This is a class. The aspect I'm thinking to do as far as a video will be slightly different because it's for a non-Qigong practitioner. So there's some details that they don't need to do. But since we're here for a Qigong class, let's go deeper into our understanding. So slightly massaging the point, opening up the Laogong, stretching the palms, doing the same thing on the other side. Massaging the Laogong, particularly here, and we could even add Neguan, PC6 are two great points to pull any excessive heat from the lungs down towards the palm, towards the extremities, and releasing them. So in the case of lung infection, heat, very sore throat, dry, any kind of heat symptoms in the area, these are two good ways to pull the excess heat from the chest towards the extremities and releasing it. So as we're doing this, we're also opening the point so that we can feel surplus or circulation of qi, allowing it to reach to the palm. And then as we feel the connection between the palm, we're going to start to turn the palm towards the lower abdomen and feel the connection of each palm within the lower abdomen. And notice that if my palms are completely turned towards my abdomen, so if I go sideways, you can see here how my palm face me. I'm kind of losing the connection between the two palms because they're just there. So if I bring my hands facing each other, now my palms are completely in front of each other, but I don't have much connection with the lower abdomen anymore. So moving gently between the two extremities, between both palms connecting to the abdomen but losing contact together, and both palms facing each other but not being in contact with the abdomen, somewhere in the middle there's a triangle spot where both points, both Laogong from each palm connects together, and the other point of the triangle goes inside towards the center of the lower abdomen. And by connecting here, as I'm breathing, I'll feel that the diaphragm can move and can increase the feeling of the inhale through the lower abdomen. Feeling how the inhale helps us to feel this kind of a push through the lower abdomen into the palm. On the exhale, condensing the qi into the lower dantian. On the inhale, allowing this expansion to happen, this filling up through the lower abdomen, through the lumbar. And on the exhale, relaxing again. Inhaling. Exhale. Slowly feeling this expansion of the qi. It's almost like as the sensation grows between the hands, you might start to feel it on the inside of the arms towards the elbow and feel that there's this huge bubble, not only in the front, but all around you, that starts from the inside of the abdomen that grows, takes more and more space, and then naturally come back and gently collapse. Inhale. Exhale. So from here, we can now connect through the first movement of Taiji Qigong Shibashi set 1, simply letting the arm rise and fall, rising with the inhale, and gently sinking, feeling how the breath starts to develop, allowing the qi to rise from the lower abdomen into the lungs, and all the way up to the sinuses, and then coming back down through the body into the lower abdomen. So if we look at it from a Chinese medicine perspective, if we want to work specifically with the lungs, the beginning of the lung channel is inside the lower abdomen, passing through Renmai 6, the ocean of qi. Creates a loop downward before coming back up through the diaphragm into the lungs, exiting through the shoulders down all the way to the thumb, and then connecting with its associated viscera, the large intestine, its channel starting from the index finger and going all the way up to the nose into the sinuses. So as we are breathing here, feeling the opening from the lower abdomen, the abdominal breathing, the expansion through the chest, feeling and filling up, affecting the lungs, and then the opening through the cranial bone and the opening of the head in general and the sinuses, allowing here this opening with the thumb open, the connection through lung 7, just at the wrist, getting the connection through the channel so that the qi can circulate properly up and down through its whole circuitry. So inhaling, rising, up, exhale, sinking. For those of you who are a little more sensitive, you might even feel in this particular instance, since our awareness is a little more on the lungs as a general system, that the tip of the thumbs connect with the last point of the large intestine channel, just at the base of the nose, and feel that everything kind of goes, connects, and creates this loop all around. Inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Moving into number 2 of set 1, expanding the chest. Once the hand reach above the shoulders, which allow the shoulder blade to sink, the expansion of the ribs happening to the side, and allowing more the middle dantian to really take its expansion. just like we did earlier with the lower dantian, specifically here taking the breath and expanding it, we're now combining the rising and the expansion, and then the return, condensing of the qi, and then down from the middle dantian to the lower dantian. Inhaling up. Exhale. And down. So we are adding or improving thoracic breathing through the sinking of the shoulder blade, the gathering of the shoulder blade closer to the spine so that the serratus major can pull the ribs open, allowing the breath or allowing the muscle to fully extend the rib cage so we can inhale deeper. Exhale. And sink. Getting the expansion, coming back and down. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. So just so we're all on the same page, in case you didn't see my previous video about set 2 that's on the channel, you should probably go see it, where I explained how the rib cage are opening, sorry, not the set 2, but the second movement of set 1, where the rib cage is opening. So if we do a simple test, placing the hands on the lower ribs, rising the hand about middle of the chest, opening to the side, feeling how much movement of your ribs you can perceive. You can do that 2-3 times. Usually there's not much movement going on, versus allowing your arm or your hand to reach slightly above shoulder height so that you can feel the sinking of the shoulder blade a little more intense. And that will allow the shoulder blade to come and connect towards the spine so that the serratus major can be stretched. And therefore here, when you will be opening the arm to the side, you should feel that pull open from the ribs that the serratus is doing to expand the chest and give you much more space in order to breathe. So as you inhale, feeling that sinking of the shoulder blade, the elbow remains pointing outward. Don't let your elbow drop because that's going to create tension in the middle of the spine and push your chest forward. On the opposite, we want the breath and the opening to happen through the back. And feel how much wider and much more space you have now to breathe. Coming back and down. Inhale. Open. You should feel that difference through the ribs, and then we can do the whole movement. Again, feeling from the lower abdomen, filling up, the qi rising through the chest and expanding through the lungs and the lung channel. And back up and down. Inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. . Exhale. So now that we've worked with abdominal breathing, thoracic breathing, we want to open particularly the upper thoracic. The upper part of the lungs is usually where most infection start to happen within the lungs, and usually because there's not enough movement, bacteria can develop quite a bit and then fall into the lung and create more complicated issue once the infection is inside the lung. So for lung health, we want to make sure that we're not with our shoulder closed and pressure in the front. But on the opposite, that our shoulders, that the clavicle, the upper ribs are moving and active as we are going about our day. And we particularly want them to open up so that the fluids that are there can be moved and treated properly by the immune system. So the movement we're going to do begins as if we were to do movement number 3 of set 1, waving the rainbow. Except that this time, rather than going on one side, we turn both palms facing each other, thumb facing behind, and we're going to let both arms open to the side before coming back down. So we're basically, it's kind of a hybrid between the beginning of waving the rainbow, which goes all the way up, palms open, and then allowing the arms to come to the side, which is the same as if I was doing the whole movement, except that I'm opening both, and then letting the hands come down and exhale. So the inhale, which is a little different this time, will be to rise all the way up and open, and then here exhale. So as I'm inhaling, as my hand reach above the head and I start to open, there's a little bit more of a balancing act of the head, looking a little more towards the sky. And exhale, bring the hand down gently, connecting through the legs into the ground. You can even bend a little bit more the knee if you want. Inhaling up. Palm facing each other, still inhaling all the way. Exhale. Bending the knees, sinking, letting the chi flow down towards the feet into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do a few more actually. Feels good. Inhale. Exhale. So you want to be careful here that your back is not bending, but that you keep the back straight as you're inhaling and allowing the arms to open, not bending backward, but feeling the opening up and then relaxing on the exhale, coming down. Inhale. Letting the chi rise all the way above the head and open. Exhale. In. And out. Let's do one more. Inhale. Up. Exhale. Good. So your shoulders should be a little looser, a little more open, feeling that your arms are naturally hanging to your side and not so much in the front. And this opening rotation of the shoulder blades of the shoulder, the opening of the front, should help to have a much better breathing in the upper part. So we're going to go back to our little test from the beginning. We'll do just 3 minutes this time to see how you guys are doing. 5 minutes is just because at first sometimes we need a little bit of time to regulate the breath. Now that we did, we'll do just 3 minutes. So again, once you hear the beep, take one inhale, one exhale, that count as one breath, and count how many breaths you're taking per minute without forcing, without trying to stretch it, just to see the difference of how you're breathing now after doing the exercise together. So ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keeping your shoulders open, keeping the upper part of the lungs open, maintaining that proper posture, seated as well. Again, starting over. One inhale, one exhale equals one breath. How many breaths per minute? And one more. Good. So how are you guys doing after the exercise themselves? Here, so I can see you, or you can see me a little better and not me standing in front of the other computer where the camera is not. So, any difference from what we did? 6 instead of 7, Alex. Excellent. So an improvement. If you think about 6 breaths per minute, it's about 10 seconds per breath in and out. Where 7 would be a few more seconds, so it's getting better. Let's see, 5 per minute, good. Where am I here? Okay. 1 less breath per minute. Yeah, excellent. So 1 less breath per minute makes quite a bit of a difference. Usually the one that ends up the shoulder well. Yes, opening everything. So 5 and 5 stayed the same. Good. Gone too easy 4 times instead of 6. 5 instead. Good. Excellent. So simple exercise to help the breaths open up, making sure everything is nice and open, connecting with your breathing, allowing it to be as flexible and floaty and light as you can. Within this, there's other elements that we could do. Actually, Jane, we can have a more private talk about self-massage and some acupuncture point that you can stimulate for that. And that will all be part of the, I guess, video course that I'm planning. Most of it is already filmed, so for other part that I'm just putting up together, that should be interesting. So I'll let you guys know. Hopefully by next week, maybe 2, depending on how much work end up showing up also, because making video is part of it, but I also have a lot of live personal classes that I do, so sometimes people pop in throughout the week, and that slowed the edition down, because live people first. But yeah, I'll let you guys know once this little set of breathing exercise is fully developed and how it can help to recuperate a lot of lung issue, not only because of the current worldwide health crisis, but any type of lingering lung issue. It will be helpful for allergies as well, just because of the overall movement that it creates. It will be useful for any kinds of recurring pneumonia, OCD, not OCD, sorry, COPD, breathing issues that can be increased. Lungs are also one of the main organs that participate in the development of qi throughout the whole body, and particularly also for the wei qi with the skin. So having strong lungs and proper breathing has a very strong effect on the overall body. Breathing, although we usually see it as taking in and out air within the body, is also moving the blood and moving the lymph from the lower part of the body back up. So there's quite a lot of element involved in that. It's a bit complex to explain it now, and we're already past the hour anyway. So that's going to be a little short, too long to explain that today, but there'll be detailed information available for you guys soon. So again, thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for breathing. I hope it was useful and interesting for you guys. And I'll be seeing you on Monday. Friday right now are not too good for me. I have other commitments that are taking over. I'm thinking I might be able to do on Saturday. Think it's not quite confirmed yet. I might try to pop up a little surprise for you guys on Saturday. If not, then I'll see you on Monday. So thank you very much for joining again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Ciao, guys. Have a good week. And have a good weekend.